which is where the hologram and the title comes from. Misfits aren't in this movie.
Villains aren't either.
No. Well, I mean, if there is a villain, it's Juliette Lewis, who is having a rockin' time in this movie.
Really, even then, she's not even, like, the antagonist of the movie. There really, honestly, is no antagonist.
Oh, I would say it's Juliette Lewis.
Well, I mean, as far as, like, people who aren't genuinely good people,
she's the Bougie Baker of this film.
She's the only person who's not an inherently good person.
Uh-huh.
But even at that, at the end of the day, she was doing exactly what is in her job title.
Well, I mean,
she was getting them all fucking paid in full.
Yeah.
She signed a record deal for that chick based off of a song she recorded in her bedroom and a new song that they performed live at an event.
I mean, she was doing crooked shit. Like, she was saying, like, you know, things like, you could be replaced with anybody, which they could, but, like...
Which, absolutely true.
Yeah. But also, like, you know, there's the one conflict of the movie where Jem wants an advance on being paid to save her mother's house, which I really feel like this could have easily happened. Like, this could have, like, even if things didn't go well with asking Juliette Lewis for an advance, I really feel like she could have gotten... This is apparently one of the #1 stars in the world. I think just going on eBay and putting up about 50 autographs could have saved her mom's house.
It's like, oh, man, like... That sucks. Like, okay, well, I'll put up, like, a fucking GoFundMe or, like, a Kickstarter or something like that. Boom. Profit.
Done. And so...
Cash in hand.
Juliette Lewis is like, oh, that's no problem. I'll give you the advance, but first you must sign this contract, so you'll go solo. And it's making Jem out like she's, like, a bitch for doing this. But in the universe of this movie where everyone's an idiot, I get why she signed it. Like, I get, like, okay, I mean, you know, I need this money bad. I gotta save my aunt. I gotta save my aunt's house.
It was exactly like the scene where Jerry Holler tricks Eazy-E and Straight Outta Compton into signing a contract that basically fucks over the rest of NWA. Man, like, this should be a double feature. Honestly.
I hope to God at the drive-in it is.
There was something I saw over there on their sign the other day, some double feature they're doing right now. It was like Hotel Transylvania 2 and War Room.
Who the fuck is seeing War Room at the drive-in?
Who's seeing it second?
Yeah, that's the second feature. That's for when the kids go to sleep.
Like, on the other side, it was like Crimson Peaks and, like, fucking Paranormal Activity. It's like, well, I wonder where all the cars are going to be.
Why isn't, like... Yeah, Hotel Transylvania 2 makes a better fit with Crimson Peak.
They're both as spooky.
Yeah, they're both really scary. But I love this contract scene, though, because,
the completely non-binding contract.
Yeah, she doesn't sign her legal name. She signs Jem. She just writes in print, so you can tell what it says. She just writes Jem on it. I'm not an expert on contracts or signing. Like, I mean, I know you can write X, and, you know, so at least you can in the cartoons.
Yeah, the old time, like, oh, if you're not fit to you know, write your own name, you know, just, you know, make your mark. Just...
Yeah. But Jem just writes it on there, and so That's just not binding at all.
But I love this contract. It's this thick, and apparently all she has to do is sign her name once on the top page. Like, I have never signed a contract that easy. It's more complicated than that. Whenever Ryan's like, all right, so here's the one for what we're doing now. It's like, all right, like, there's like 10 pages, man. It's like, oh, just here and here, and this one's an initial, and here's like a W-9. It's like, fuck, dude, this is too much already. Like, it's like, I gotta get Juliette Lewis to drop my next paper. It's like, oh, just right here. Just honestly do whatever you want.
No, but Juliette Lewis doesn't run the company anymore. This ending is really bad for her. She doesn't run the company anymore, but she is still filthy rich.
She is not hard pressed for money. She just won't be consistently earning as much straightforward anymore. And honestly, if she went and talked to a lawyer, she could probably get all this shit. Like,
right, because like they find because her husband is not among us anymore, I guess. So
we find out whenever he pulls out like opens a safe. It's like, what's that? It's like, it's my dad's will. Like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah. So Dad's will is in there, and Juliette Lewis, her son in the movie, who is a good 10 years younger than she is. So her son in the movie is the one who's put in charge of watching over the girls, and so at the end, he's like, I read Dad's will, and it said that I can take over the company whenever I feel I'm ready. And I feel I'm ready, which makes his dad an idiot.
Yeah, it's like, apparently he had the same lawyer draft up his shit as, like, Billy Madison's dad. It's like, you'll have the whole thing, but first you have to pass kindergarten again.
Yeah. I feel like that contract is way better than this. Like, that would be like if in Billy Madison, he didn't have to do anything. Like, he did. It's more like the Tommy Boy contract.
Yeah.
Where,
it's
right?
Like, it's like, oh man, my dad's dead. Well, I guess I run this now.
Yeah.
It's like,
you gotta hit the road with David Spade.
Shouldn't it go to, like, the CFO or something? Or, like, the board of directors to decide? No, we'll just give it to him. He's clearly management material.
By the end of it, he totally was. He saved that company. Sold all those brake pads to Dan Aykroyd.
But, like, even, like the parts with her, like the parts there where, like, they're like, screwing her out of her own company. Like, that kind of felt really reminiscent, though, to, like, the shit that was going on with, like, Courtney Love and, like, fighting with, like, her and Kurt Cobain's kid, about, like, who actually owns the rights to all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, that seemed very, like, similar to that, but I feel like I'm giving the movie too much credit if I'm going that far. It's like, they didn't think that far.
She's secretly playing Courtney Love.
They just decided to give some wacky Scooby-Doo style twist. We're like, oh, man.
This movie would have been amazing if it was Courtney Love playing that character. That would have been kind of great. Juliette Lewis is the best part of this movie.
She is just having fun.
Yeah, she is. She's really having a blast.
But yeah, it's nice seeing her do stuff, and like it's an interesting role because like it lets her be a little sinister, but like like she still though does seem to honestly have like at least to some degree like their best interest in heart,
She's not letting them like drink, do drugs, or like she's go out past midnight.
She's securing her investment because she's honestly wagering a lot on the fact that, again, all of this for a girl who put up a 3-minute video on YouTube with no setup and no explanation.
Oh, yeah, but she's got tens of fans. Like the scenes where Juliette Lewis is like, here they are, Jem and not the holograms. They don't say that till the end. But she's like, here's the girls, and it's a crowd of like 10 people. 2 of them are holding signs. Hashtag Jim. And woo! Another sign like, I love you.
Well, and like, that's like whenever they were doing the whole like paparazzi like walkway thing there. It's like the other girls get out of the car first, and that was the first time that they had been seen in public. Because they're not in the YouTube video, and that was the only video they put up. So it's like, what? Why are they applauding for these random people who are getting out of a car?
I can buy, because I feel like this crowd would applaud it. Goddamn anything.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. But no, I loved that whole contract part though. Just to go back to that for 1 second, just because like, again, like she signs at gym, which again, totally not binding since it has the blank is automatically like it's already been filled in with her actual name. But not even that, just the fact that that's what she signs it. Literally like 30 seconds after Juliette Lewis just threatened her with the whole like anybody could be Jim. No one knows who you really are. It's like, that's the biggest loophole in this contract. Like, I was really waiting for that to come back around, as like an actual decent plot point. It's like, well, I own you people. I can do whatever I want. It's like, read the contract. It was signed by Jim. And that could be anybody. Boom.
Yeah.
Like, I was waiting for something like that. Like, no, they just, like, nope, there was a secret will.
A secret will in the safe with Jim's earrings, which is the other plot point in this movie.
One of the weirdest, most non-logic making... this sentence is just going off the rails because I cannot fucking think of the words to use for how stupid this plot point is.
The robot synergy in the movie has different pieces that they're attaching to it, and the robot is this robot was built by her dad, and the robot is giving them clues to go through different places in Los Angeles. So her dad just knew that at some point in his kid's future she would end up at this rock show to find a piece on a guitar that's hung up on the wall, and back at this carnival, and the earrings that she's had on her ears, which, okay, makes the most sense that would be part of the key that they're looking for to put into synergy to get her final message from her dead father. But her earrings, unbeknownst to her, they go together in one piece and
like
light up.
This little crystal.
Yeah, and light up like fucking magic that has just never happened in the 20 years she's owned these earrings.
Never noticed that they look like they're cut to where they would go absolutely together.
Yeah, so at the beginning of it, when Juliette Lewis is taking Jem's earrings because she's like, no, that looks too dated, so then they decide to just dress them in the most 80s looking of fashion throughout the rest of the movie.
But yeah, like she takes them to her office to like give them like weird like critiques on their style.
Yeah.
And like tells her like, oh yeah, no, those big chunky plastic looking earrings, like no, you gotta lose those. She's like, oh, but my dad gave them to me. He's like, it's okay, we'll keep them in a safe place.
It's like she's going to prison.
And then, like, this weird guy comes over with, like, this, like, ornate silver box, puts him in the box, and then walks over to a wall safe and then locks them away in her office. Is like, those look like dollar store, like, earrings. Those look like the earrings that come with, like, a fucking Halloween costume over at fucking Spirit.
And then they figure out that they need these earrings. These